Welcome to Casa Fuzetta, the House of Stories, with me, Tara.
And me, Kate. Early in 2024, Condé Nast Traveller named Casa Fuzetta one of the best yoga retreats in the world. In the first few episodes, Tara, you shared some of the crazy stories involved in the creation of Casa Fuzetta, which is located in a coastal fishing town in the south of Portugal. Country you had never been to, knew no one, didn't speak the language, but suddenly found yourself responsible for the restoration of 3 derelict buildings. Quite important derelict buildings by the sound of it. We also met Kat, the wonderful founder of Cheeky Yoga Club, cheeky it is, who was a guest on one of the very first yoga retreats at the house and has since gone on to host multiple retreats at Casa Fuzetta.
And what I love about this episode is we're actually coming full circle for a chat with Nora, a talented interior designer from Germany, who actually first came to Olhão as a guest of Kat's Cheeky Yoga Club retreat.
Oh my goodness.
And she has since returned and is going to return again to join us for our February workation. In the episode, we explore our shared love of detail and how our environment has such a profound impact on how we feel, and also some of the challenges that can be involved in the process of creating these spaces. In this episode, I had to fly solo and I was recovering from a rather nasty bout of pneumonia. So if you notice my voice doesn't sound quite up to scratch, upon the pun, that is why.
So Nora, thank you so much for being part of the podcast. And this is special because this is our first podcast recording in the house.
Okay.
We're breaking new ground. But cool. I wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit about your experience at Casa Fuzetta, because this is your second time with us. You've tried to join us for multiple Heal the Healers retreats. And we love you because you're here at the moment on a second February workation. And you booked for 1 week, or was it 10 days? And then it was 15 days. And then it was, just a few more days. I think it would be fair to say you like the house.
Yes, this is totally true. So do you want a little bit about the story, how I came to this? I think I followed a German coach who did a retreat here. His name's Chris Bloom. I think he's into relationship coaching thingy, something. And he posted something on Instagram and I didn't listen to him, but I saw the house in the background and I was like, where is he? Oh my God, what is that? And then he linked Casa Fuzetta. So I had it on my mind. And that time, I think it's 4 years ago or maybe more. And I saw the house the first time and I was like, oh my God, and checked the website and was like, oh, I can never afford that. Wow. I can just join a retreat. Okay. So I kept that in mind. And I think then all this COVID things happened.
Nightmare. Yeah.
So I tried several times.
We forget about COVID.
Yeah, but I remember I got in touch with you like for January retreat, and then you went, you were totally in. You found the last seat or something, and I was like, yes, okay, nice. And then, okay, this will not happen. So there were several trials before, and then I found a retreat, which was aligning with what I was looking for, and also in the time, I think it was September 2021 at Cat Cheeky Yoga retreat. I think we have been 17 people or something.
Yeah, it was a full
days.
House. It was a full house
and super international. So
people from
everywhere. Yeah,
I think Antarctica was the only continent
not included. Yeah, it was South America, Los Angeles, Australia, Netherlands, Germany. Oh my God, UK. I don't know. It was such a wild mix.
Yeah.
Of girls. Oh no, there was a guy from India, I think. Yeah, I think we have been like 17 people or something. That was the first time I shared a room with someone I didn't know before. That was
Oh,
really
yes.
like, and then Kat told me like, yeah, you will be together with in a room, and she's a model, by the way. And I'm like, with all my food diseases and things and allergies and intolerance, I was like, oh my God, this is the worst scenario. No, but that was super easy because, yeah, I don't know. I think she didn't even breathe at night. Breathing because she was like falling asleep earlier than me and sleeping longer than me. So
Perfect.
we didn't even realize each other, just like next to each other. That was super nice. We had super good weather. We had nice yoga on the rooftop. We were able to swim in the pool because it was so warm. And I remember the food was so good, but it was 3 times a day. So I really got some kilos on. So
yes,
after I left the house.
I remember, I think that was one of Kat's first ones. And she was like nervous about how much food. But now I always say brunch and dinner. It's more than enough food. And if people are hungry, then
that's so true.
They can go
and we had a
explore.
Brilliant chef.
Ricardo.
I don't remember her name, but it was
Ricardo,
brilliant.
Sarah and Ricardo. Yeah.
And in this house, I was one of the first guests. That was extra because I wanted to run around and have a look at everything. I'm very curious about those things. And I think the reason why I desperately wanted to come here was that I saw in the Instagram feed or in your posts or whatever on the website, you're so detail-loved and you really achieve that. Every room has a special aura, and you step into and you feel, oh, this is comfy. Oh, this is different. Oh, this is really detailed. So this is I think I would say the best example for things can make you happy, and things and rooms can make that you feel home there, even if you're so far away.
Yeah,
and this is something special. This is a special thing that touched me, and I saw it on the photos and in the feed, and I'm really sensitive to that. That's why, yeah, of course. And I had to come back, and now we're sitting here because I extended the second time. So in total, I think we are now 17 days. Yeah, that's right. And I really love every room and the aura here and this free space of Workation. Very interesting people who booked this. Yeah, and like characters. And
so you never know. And
yeah.
And that's part of the journey and part of the experience. And I always think the right people always come.
Yeah, I think this is they resonate with this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit all in this yoga bubble because kind of thing. I think people are not coming here who are not like into a tiny bit of spirituality or yoga or meditation or self-reflection, whatever. They won't book it. But you have to tell me, what kind of people are here? Do you think we have something in common? Not only their house?
Oh, yes. No, definitely. And even if people don't know it consciously, they know it or they feel it. And I'd say, look, I think now we've had more than 150 groups come through the house. I think I did the maths the other day. I think we're like 2,500 people. And the energy that all of these people bring and contribute, and whether they do it very consciously or subconsciously, they all come and they all fall into the sort of, the aura of the house, and they fall in love with the house, and then they leave a little bit of love in the walls, and then the next people, they pick up on that, and then they leave a bit more love. How it is now to how it was when we had our first guests in the summer of 2016. What's that now? We're close to 8 years on. So the energy of the house just gets stronger, and I think you can, it sounds a bit arrogant, but I think it's true that you can see and feel how the house has also spread the energy in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And like how the other houses are being done up and other places are being open and people coming and the type of people who come.
Yeah.
This
Change
is
a bit.
more
From
in
before
terms of,
you had your house here.
there were no tourists before. but I think more that the people who come, they're people who are looking for, it sounds really crass now to say an authentic experience. They want something different. They don't want something that you can buy at any sort of 5-star hotel where you could be anywhere in the world. They want to feel they want to feel something special. And I think for me, the town still has things. It has you fall into this little time, energy, light, sounds, bubble, and people just go, they can decompress and they can tackle the big projects or the big decisions of their lives. And quite often, like last year, the Workation guests, they were all going, I've got a big decision to make, or I've got a big piece of work that I just can't get my head into at home. And they just
soak the energy up.
Yeah.
I love this idea, what you said, that people leave some love here and it grows over time. And even if other people come and take the love, but still,
they still bring more.
It expands and goosebumps really on my legs and my mouth, because I love this idea. This is so positive, and this, there is enough love for everybody.
Exactly, it's not a pie. It keeps.
It's endless.
It's endless.
Yeah, and I think this is what we can all feel here in these rooms, because you put so much of your love, of your detail love, and of yourself. We can see you here, because I think this is your style of doing things. You didn't book an interior designer, so you did everything. It's how you like it.
Yes, we did have an interior designer, but more for the architectural details. So, for example, at the moment, we're sitting in the games room and we have this paneled wall behind you. I don't know if...
But was it your idea?
Yes.
Yeah. And the interior designer had which idea?
She had the ideas for those big white panels in the entrance hall.
Okay.
And the wine cellar.
Yeah. That's it?
Yes.
Okay.
but otherwise, one of her team was she was an architecture student. Okay. So she did the technical drawings, but she and I would talk. Yeah. I'm like, this is what I want. Can you do the drawings to give to the builders and to the project managers and everything? Yeah.
So most of it is like coming out of your...
Yes.
Let's say this is, idea box. I think this is endless, because I have the feeling you're really clear about that, like super straight. Okay, you have your vision already.
No.
No?
Yeah, yes and no. So it was like, I think what I would say is I listened to the house.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful.
So you listen to the house and you listen to the ideas of the people, the professionals, and like I had lots of rows with Jonathan, who you met. Because he would go, why are you spending so much time? You have architects, you have interior designers, you have a foreman, you have project managers, you have all of these people who know about building houses and restoring houses. You've never done this before. Why are you telling everybody how it needs to work? And it's because I can feel the house. And I know, and I learned to read the plans, and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. But if we do this, then that will work. And there was actually
that's what they love, not. But for them, it's work. And for you, this is like a baby.
Exactly.
This is a baby that has to be born through your body system, and then it comes out.
But you still take on board, or you listen. You don't always accept, but you listen and you filter. And so everybody contributed ideas to it's not just me, and it's not me going, oh, I have a really clear plan about what we're going to do for every single room from day one.
But you had a feeling
But I had a feeling.
Yeah,
I had a feeling. And I just followed and sat with the feelings.
And I can imagine, this is 8 years ago. Today, I have the feeling this is much more common to say, I don't feel that, I don't feel that, I want to express that. And I think 8 or 10 or 15 years ago, that was not that common, that you express your feelings without logical reasons.
Oh.
So it must be hard to discuss all that, but I don't feel this, whatever it is, bookshelf here. I want it there, and I want it in this size and this measure and whatever. So I can imagine that was like hard discussions.
Oh, well, because of course it was all men as well.
Yeah, and I can tell you.
And all Portuguese. And anyway, we had some very funny moments. But at the end, they were like,
get it. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And they go, yeah, I get
now
it.
I know why.
Now I know.
Oh my God.
Now I know.
Yeah, this is also my experiences in all my works and over 20 years. Of course, I mostly work with men, and also I'm small, I'm blonde. Sometimes there are some conflicts, and I have a vision, and I know this, I want it that way. Yeah, but it's not working out. And I'm like, yes, but it is, because I know if you take this and took this, and then you open here, and then you do that, and then it's possible. And they're like, ow!
At least you had some experience behind you. I'm just going, you're wrong. I'm telling you, you can put a staircase in there. So like our central staircase.
Yeah.
They were like going, that's not possible.
No.
And I'm like, it is. I'm telling you,
because I feel it.
And they're just like, and they roll their eyes and they're like, oh God. And but I was right.
Yeah.
So the retreat that you went on, that you first came on with Kat, if we go back to that, was that your first yoga retreat? Or
this is a good question. I'm not sure. I think it was the third yoga retreat in my life, but I will do the 5th in May or something. This will be like the 5th in my life, and I did an online retreat and things like that. But I just realized here they have all been in Portugal.
So Portugal keeps calling.
Yeah, still. I have a Portugal tile tattooed on my leg. That has a reason too. I have been here really often, and every time it catches me, and I'm like, I want to stay longer, which every time I extend, I just realized a few days ago, every time I do that, can I change my flights? Oh my God. There's something special I don't know about, but what you said about the people who come here, calming down, I think this is not only about Casa Fuzetta, but also maybe especially this part of Portugal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have the feeling this is not only like holiday feeling, like time expands when you have the feeling, you can read a whole book in a day. This is something different, especially Olhão also. Yeah. It's beautiful, tiny. And the first moment I thought, this is over in 3 days. You saw it, so there's nothing to explore. And then I explored again something like through you or just walking around. And it has everything here.
And I love the fact that you don't need a car.
Exactly.
Everything's
so close to the airport, but you don't realize it. They're not like every second minute a plane going or something. So it's super calm here.
Yeah. And just the ability to walk out. And again, because we talked about if for people who live on their own, you want to have life around you. And I think what I remember, the first time, one of the early times we were here, and it was like, I was a little bit worried. It's January, it's February. Is it going to feel like it's dead and there's no one here? But what I really love is that there's this working community who live here all the time. So you can come any time of year and there's life, there are people, and you pick up again that energy as opposed to there are other places that you go to, and if you're not there between May and September, it's literally tumbleweed going down the street, and you just go.
And even in January, you have lights. You have not all the time, but 100% more than in Germany or the UK. Definitely, you have lights. You have blue skies. Sometimes you have sun. Not all the time, but it's a different vibe, of course.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get here.
I thought it'd be really interesting to hear a little bit more about you and where you come from and how you got into being an interior designer.
Yeah, of course, people ask me often, but this is like, it was a coincidence. I think it all started when I was really small, because my mom told me, even when we have been to holidays in Greece or something, I changed furniture.
What
when I was 3 or 4, I moved. No, this chair must be somewhere else. I was already in this vibe of, let's say, optimizing rooms, however you define it. So that was in my blood. Like, I'm born at home in the living/bedroom. The first thing I saw was a room, another hospital room. Like, maybe this is something important, I don't know. But I have the feeling it was not like I became an interior designer.
You were an interior designer.
I were it already when I was born, because that was always my thing. And I don't know, I built lamps when I was young, of course, until electricity went off, boom. And my parents like, Nora, what are you doing? I'm trying something new. Like, I always tried something out and changed my room very often. That was like, and then in the end of my school times, when I graduated, I was like, okay, what to do now? Because I had the feeling I don't want to study something theoretically. I want to do something that is so practical I can use my hands for. Yeah. And I was scared that if I study, I will only drink and have party and not study. And in education, this is called Raumausstattung in Germany, which means, it sounds like room decorating, but it means sewing curtains and doing bolsters. This is like really crafts thing. Yeah, that's what I did. Normally it's 3 years, but because I had this graduation from before I could cut it off after 2.5 years. And then I broke my leg and things like that happened in life. And I got separated with my ex-boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. Life happened. And then my ex-boyfriend called me and said, yeah, we do a TV project. Do you have time? Can you do some painting things? And I was like, I don't know. Can I do that? What do you think? You know me? And he was like, yeah, come over. So I did the job. I think it was 2 weeks for a TV show. So we did some.
So were you creating sets? So creating murals?
Yeah, no. Someone else was the set designer. I was 25, so I had totally no idea that it was my super first TV job. And yeah, he dropped me in somehow. I don't know. That was like, yeah, I know somebody. She's coming. No, my first job was painting the poor area of Big Brother 4, German Big Brother 4. They had like a poor part in the garden and a rich part. So if you lose a game, you have to sleep outside and I don't know, whatever, and don't get any food. And this is like really ugly. And the rich part was like super deluxe-y and with a bathtub and things like that.
So how did you manage?
I did painting jobs. And then he asked me to write the bill, the invoice. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And then he was like, yeah, okay, I can write it for you, but then you have to give me 30% for my tax payment. Or you go to this office and grab I don't know the word for this in English. It's Gewerbeschein, so that you are officially...
you can invoice.
Yeah. That costs, I think it was 30 euros. And I was like, yeah, of course, I take B. I don't want to give you money of my hard worked for. And that's why... Then it started, and I remember that my first invoice, I Googled how to write it. And then a friend gave me like, yeah, I did that once. Here, take this document. And I was like, oh my God, I have to open a document. It was like, all those things. And this is 21 years ago. And then they booked me again, like in this TV bubble, which is really word of mouth. Someone recommends you, and then this person recommended me to another, and someone called me and said, yeah, I'm XY. So this is what's but that's really working out.
And again, bring it back here for a minute, but likewise, it's all pretty much 95% of people who come here is because of word of mouth of one sort or another. Sometimes Instagram does its thing, but word of mouth is super important.
But I think this is also only that people don't Instagram not as a search engine. They use it to check the photos and see if the vibes connects to them. Mm-hmm. And then yes or no.
Yeah.
And then they decide. And for me, I found out once that with a coach together that aesthetics is like one of my highest life motivations. So that's why I'm here.
And so you were talking earlier about having a vision board for this year. Will you share with us what's on your vision board?
Of course, different things, but main things like find a partner or be open that I could be found. Money things, but more into the thought like get booked for projects I'm really into. And that happened already in January. I did some great projects I loved, like with very colorful furnitures. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. What was it? And it was saying co-living on the vision board. And now I'm here in this work. And when I did that, it was on 6th of January. I didn't know. I didn't book then. I think it was later.
True. Yeah.
It was later. Yeah. I'm not sure. So here, this is fulfilled a little bit, like this co-living, working, not traveling alone, hanging around with other people who are like similar mindset. This is on my vision board. And a lot more travels to Portugal, to be honest.
You've already booked that. So that's in the bag.
Again. Yeah, that's in the bag.
But I'm a big believer in when you have a positive intention.
Yeah.
And very clear. The clearer you are and the more positive you are, then the universe answers, hello, ding dong.
Literally, can I deliver? I have something for you.
Literally the next day. This house has so many stories like that. It's just crazy.
You could do podcast episodes only about what the people manifested before and what happened then.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. So we'll have to check in at the end of the year or at next year's workation. We'll put a little plug in.
I will be back for sure if you offer it again.
I think we will.
Yeah,
I think we will. I think this year I was just distracted with working on other projects. I didn't promote quite as I might, but I do like it.
What other projects are you talking about?
Oh, for me, so if Casa Fuzetta is baby number 1, baby number 2 is the La Eva products.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We are now starting to get those into some very fancy hotels in the UK and around the world, and whether it be treatments and like the products that we have in the bathrooms here, places like Claridge's and the Savoy and the Peninsula Hotel in London that's just opened,
and you all did that.
And we did
manage there.
Yeah.
So those products are made in Portugal? Or?
No, that's really...
okay, that's another podcast episode.
A whole other podcast. No, the ones for the hotels in the UK are made in the UK.
Okay.
But because of Brexit, we had to find new manufacturers in Portugal. Let's just say that hasn't been all smooth as sailing. But we'll wrap up and say
show notes. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, but at some point that will be my next learning curve, the creation of show notes. But
no,
very much, Nora.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Cool. Thank you very much.
I particularly enjoy that episode where Nora touches on workations and her experience of Casa Fuzetta. Obviously a totally independent lady who's more than happy in her own company, but touches on the benefits of your workation setup because she's drawn to Portugal, drawn to the sunshine, and surrounded by really great energy in the house while she continues her personal journey in her own work.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that Nora, like so many of us, even in sort of family situations, can actually feel quite lonely.
Yes.
And therefore, what she's really trying to be proactive about is most of the time we're all really quite happy with our own company, but actually she recognises that there's great energy to be drawn and shared when we come together. And the beauty of the workation is that actually you know that there's a community around you of like-minded souls, and that you can tap into and be creative. And sometimes, as we touched on around the dinner table, we can also be quite challenging of each other, but in a positive way, to individually raise the bar of what we're aspiring and what we believe we can do.
Totally.
And I think that's what Nora taps into and what we love about the workations. And of course, I love the fact that she recognises and can feel and appreciates our little thing about the love in the walls that all the guests join in.
I definitely, it's independent, not isolated.
Exactly. Nicely put. In the show notes, I've added for you links to the Casa Fuzetta workations, should you like to join us. And I've actually also included Nora's workation links because she loved the concept so much that she's going to be hosting her own with one of our neighbours in Olhão, the lovely Casa Rosa. We've got just a handful of rooms remaining for our workations, but of course there's a full schedule of yoga and meditation, leadership, coaching and writing retreats scheduled across the year. And you can find a link to where you can find all of those details and all of those retreats and more in the show notes. The next episode will be the last in the series.
Oh,
I can't quite believe it.
I know.
And I will fly solo again for an interview with another of our workation guests, a very special soul, very different to Nora, a lady called Haruka Aoki, an artist of Japanese heritage who recently emigrated with her curator husband to start a new life in Lisbon. Haruka and I kept in touch after she first approached me several years ago, hoping we could offer an artist in residence program. Sadly, we couldn't, but we kept in touch, and I'm happy to say that meeting in person was a complete delight.
Aww.
And Haruka has been very generous in sharing the joys and some of the challenges of starting a new life in Portugal.
As ever, we'd love to hear what you think of this episode and the series overall. We have a dedicated email address, which you can use for any podcast questions and can be found in the show notes. And last but not least, of course, we'd love for you to subscribe to the series and help spread the word, sharing it with friends and family.
Até a próxima!
Até a próxima!